Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it is in your time zone or at the time of your listening. You have reached your favorite podcast, so sit back, relax, and enjoy a brand new installment of Beyond the Bureau.
Hello, and good afternoon, good morning, good night. You heard the guy. I like that, Landon. That was good. Good
Thanks.
intro for us. It's good to be back. It's been a while since we've had a podcast. Landon, how you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm doing mighty fine. How are you doing?
I'm great. We have a good installment of the podcast for you today. Today we have two of probably the most busiest guys in the district over the past couple months, and you'll figure out why that is soon here. But joining us, it'll be the band director and many other man of many other talents, Mr. Cebulla, and again a man of many talents. But our focus today, the musical director, Mr. Logan. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Hey, thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for
Yeah.
for having us on.
Yeah, these guys have been absolutely swamped the past couple of months. We just recently, in the last couple of weeks, got back from Disney, and before that, we had a musical the week before that.
Yeah.
It's been a busy couple of weeks for us, but especially for them because they're behind it.
Well, and district contest the week before that.
Yeah, that is true. So back to back to back
Yeah.
trips. You guys have been trading off. Now we have the state contest coming up. So I guess we'll just go back chronologically. It's been a little while now, but the musical, such a long process,
Yes.
especially for you. For us, it's a couple months of hard work, but for you,
It's almost a whole year.
Yeah.
I usually start depending on the year, May or June. I start looking at shows for the next year, and then by August, September, I usually have things decided. The problem is after I make the decision, I have to wait for the company to tell us our money is good, and then I can tell you all what it is legally. I'm not allowed to say anything with the contracts we sign. So
always the worst couple of days in there, or the couple of weeks.
it is,
when,
especially when school starts, and I haven't announced it yet, and everyone's harassing me all the time. And poor Mr. Cebulla has to hear it from you all too.
Yep. Anybody involved with the musical will be after him to figure out what it is. Yeah, that was our next question. It's like, what do you look for when you're picking a musical? What goes into that process?
Well, I start with a number of people. You
Mhm.
know, how many guys do we have? I've said this before. If we had 8 or 9 guys, there's really no show we couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Even shows like Newsies that have like it's
Yeah.
all guys. It's all guys. You could make it work with
Mhm.
that. Look at who we have, who's kind of where the talent lies. Do we have guys that are leaning heavy, girls that are kind of the lead role potential, and start narrowing shows down from there. And my personal preference, if I don't like a show, it's not going to be on my list.
That's good.
Sorry for the High School Musical fans, but I've never seen the whole thing, so it's not on the list.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these days in the near future.
Well, eventually,
Foreseeable.
maybe it could. Yeah, never say never.
Yeah, so you kind of answered it already, but what's your first plan of action after you pick the musical? What do you do first?
I usually sit with it for a week
Mm-hmm.
before I submit anything. I've kind of decided on it myself. I sit, I listen to it. When I walk the dog, I listen to the score and just kind of say, is this really what I'm going to spend the next, how many months working on? And then I start working on, get my books in from the company, start looking at the blocking, start learning the music myself. And then honestly, not this year, but usually I start working on staging and set pieces,
Yeah.
kind of just generalizing what it's going to look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point because you have to think about the musical that you like, but also do you want to teach it, direct it, listen to it,
Mhm.
sing it for the next 8 months?
Yeah,
For
yeah,
you,
it's-
it's that long. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's a long decision, but I think you've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, so far so good.
About how long does it take to, once you've picked the musical and you have to try and submit everything, how long does it take before you can announce to everybody what the show is?
Once I've decided and once I've turned in the paperwork to the school, the office there, they transfer and make sure all the payment stuff goes through to the company, and then it's anywhere from like 5 to 10 business days is what they say, and usually it's just a couple days, usually maybe a week or so is the difference between everything gets submitted to the company and we're allowed to announce it. And the instant I get that email, I send it out. I usually have it typed up on my phone so I can just copy and paste it to everyone there.
That's exciting. Yeah, that's good stuff. So even in further, what do you look for when picking roles? Just people. What do you look for in a musical performer?
Uh, Auditions are my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
Casting is my least favorite part because there's just so much pressure that goes into it. When you audition, the kids audition, I'm looking for, what are you presenting? How are you presenting yourself? Are you confident?
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually have a presence up there? And can you sing?
Right.
But not just how you are singing in that moment. I'm listening for what can I get out of you? Some kids, you come in and they sing something. It's just like, that was not a great song for you, but I know what I can get out of this. I know it's some of you I've known for a long time, and some people newer voices. It's nice that I can go, okay, I can get this out of you. I can make Landen sing an E flat and an F,
Yeah.
even though his song maybe didn't have, and maybe he doesn't like to sing that high. I can get that out of him.
Yeah.
So just looking at what potential is there, not just what's in front of me at the moment.
That's good.
And then every time we go into auditions, Mr. Cebulla, you're always sitting in. Do you want to talk about your role in that?
I'm just so happy to be working with Mr. Logan. We're so lucky to have him here. I don't know if you guys realize what he can actually do. So anything I can do to chip in and help out, he always helps me with everything that I need, whether we're going to contests, solo and ensemble. He's always there helping out. So that's the least I can do. I just add my 2 cents. I just type some notes like about, vocal technique or were they prepared, just so he has something to look back on, although I'm sure he could do it all himself. It's just nice to have another person to bounce some ideas off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we videotape them too.
Yeah.
I usually share them with a third party who's unbiased, who doesn't know the kids.
Mm-hmm.
That usually helps out. Just get a little more information, something they hear that I don't.
Right. Cover all your bases.
Yeah,
for sure.
4 trained ears are better than 2. So, yeah, you guys definitely have it worked out. But yeah, you said we were lucky to have Mr. Logan. But this is a question kind of for both of you. But we'll go to Mr. Logan first. What drives you in a school that's not known for our fine arts?
I think it's a Honda, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Honda. It's a Honda. Don't find my
he
car.
upgraded.
I did. It's not orange anymore. That's a little depressing, but that's okay.
You can always get it wrapped. Get a
Ooh, I
paint
like
job.
that. All right. I'll get the people who did Officer Emily's to do mine.
There you go. Think about it. But seriously, in a school where fine arts is really ran by you two. I mean, you two carry a lot of the load. What drives you in that?
Yeah, it is just the two of us, K-12. A lot of my music teacher friends, when I say that, they don't.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize what it's just the two of us, not 2 band directors. It's just the two of us. For me, I just really like working with you all. Every time someone comes to either play for us or work in the musical, they're like, "Wow, your kids are so nice." It's like, well, good, they should be, but that's not something that I necessarily have to do myself. You all have kind of taken that on, and you all deserve to have opportunities to make music, just like we deserve to have opportunities to take all these other cool classes we have. And music is just something that everyone can identify with.
Yeah.
I bet everyone who's listening to this can probably think of their favorite song, their favorite artist, and you folks just want to go do the music. And someone's got to be your fearless or fearful leader sometimes. And it's an honor to be able to do that for you folks.
Yeah, we're honored. I can't tell you how many times, at least even just at Hiram, I take classes at Hiram, and I've talked to students there about like their high school days, and at least like 5 or 6 times I can remember off the top of my head have I talked to people about theater and how they said they wished they could have had a musical production at their high school. And like I remember talking to a few kids at once, and they said they had a theater or a drama club production, but they never got to sing in a musical. And they said it really sounds like a fun thing, and they wish they could have done it. So I know I'm super grateful, even see the glass half full, that we have that, that you've led the charge on that. So
yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, and Mr. Cebulla, I've talked to people when I tell them that our elementary school, middle school, high school, marching band, concert band, jazz band, pep band, all have the same director. They kind of do a double take. They're like the same director for all 6 or 8 or whatever it is of the bands. So what is it that keeps you going?
Honestly, it's kids like you. I don't know if people know this, but you guys are, 2 of the top students that we've ever had. So it's that kind of thing. When you have students that get out there, they work hard, that's what gets me going. It's easy to, I was just I just got back from 5th grade, and not everybody has been visiting their friend's house and practices their songs together like you guys used to do, you know? So when you get stuff like that happening, there's a little glimmer in some kid's eye, and they practice a couple minutes a week, like that gets me going because maybe that might turn into something. I always talk about one of our former students who was the absolute worst, like in 5th grade, 6th grade. They know who they are. And then I remember doing tag day, which is where you go out and beg for money in town. And we brought our instruments, and I brought an instrument to play with her. And I'm like, okay, what do we want to play? She was a freshman. I don't know. So I'm like, whatever you want. So we picked something easy, and it was horrendous, absolutely terrible. And then for some reason, I'm not sure what happened, but she actually started practicing probably at the end of her freshman year.
Yeah.
And then quickly became our top trumpet player. And she's now a band director.
Yeah.
So to me, that's super cool just to see, somebody that wasn't too into it really get into it and excel. So
That's cool.
that's pretty impressive.
That's-
But it's just,
yeah.
it's the kids. That's the ones that are excited. They really get you going. So
Yeah.
you don't want to let them down.
Nice. Yeah, that's a big pitch of ours when we try to pitch the band. It's always like, even though, I mean, I had fun in 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade band, but it's like really high school marching band and concert band is where it's at. So it's like just keep improving, and then once you get to high school, especially if you're good, at least for us, I think we have a much better time competing at like solo and ensemble, trying to get ones, and like being one of the best marching bands. We always get compliments
Right.
at the big band shows. So that's always our pitch, is like just, get into the high school marching band. And to do that, you have to go through the preliminary stages.
Yeah,
But
you
Gotta
put
learn
in-
how to do something.
You got to put in work, when you're younger, and then before you know it, you're high school seniors and you're making great music, ones at contests.
Yeah.
I mean, straight ones at district contests this year.
We've had a stretch. We've had a very long stretch of kids that work hard.
Yeah.
And that really try to do their best. So I've been just kind of riding along like a happy guy. And every year, it gets down to May, and I'm like, oh no, my seniors are going. They're
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just hope somebody else steps it up because we've been so lucky.
yeah,
So,
that's the thing. Well, moving on from that, that was one of our big questions. But back to the band and our Disney trip. What goes into that process? That's also a very,
I'd rather not talk about it.
I mean, hey,
I try to forget about it
You-
for 4 years.
hours at a time.
It
you're
is-
in your
so,
office, like,
Yeah, so basically, you want to give kids an opportunity to do cool stuff.
mhm.
And I know for me, when I was growing up, that was the absolute best thing, I think, in high school, was just going on the Florida trips. And I lucked out when I was at Crestwood. I got to go my freshman year and my senior year. The only people that would be able to do that here at Garfield would be the 8th grade marchers. They
Yeah.
might be able to go twice. But at least I want everybody to be able to go once because I loved it. It was great. So although it is a lot of pressure and you have to get everything organized and you don't want to screw it up, especially with that much money,
Yeah.
it's something that we like to do. But
Right.
yeah, so I don't have to worry about it for a while.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit over a year to get it all
Yeah,
put
for
together.
sure.
So
I remember the kind of false alarm we had where we almost went to Disney a
Yeah.
couple years ago. So for you, it's been kind of off and on for
yeah, COVID was a treat.
a few years now.
I forgot about
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Logan, you were there at Disney with us.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't do any of the planning for it. That is all Mr. Cebulla. It's got a little help there for Mrs. Curry, helps him
Kim
out too.
Curry, make sure I'm
She
crossing my T's and dotting my I's
her
and checks
kids,
my math.
kids graduated. They've been gone a few years now, and
Yeah.
she's still around
So
hanging
helpful.
out because she just loves the program, loves what Mr. Cebulla does here, and yeah, Disney was a blast. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun. We didn't lose anybody. I didn't get to go when I was in high school because Brian Cooper, who probably is not listening to this, but got
Brian
left behind.
Cooper.
To this day, I remember Brian Cooper. I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and we were, I would have gone when I was in high school, but nope, Brian Cooper got left at the park, and they had to go back and get him. So that was it. That was it. My
Wow.
band director said, "That's it. We're not going ever again." And well, that was depressing.
Yeah, that's a name you don't forget.
No,
That's a
no,
big-
no.
That's a big moment.
To my knowledge, we had a pretty successful trip. I don't think anybody got lost or hurt the whole time.
That's good.
I mean, you're just a good bunch.
Yeah.
Nobody's questionable. I didn't worry.
Can't say we got to the park and we're like, oh, Landen. Let's see where he ends up at the end of the day. He's going to be in Disney jail. I don't think we really had anyone who we thought was actually going to end up doing any damage.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable 4 days. We had good weather. It was great.
Yeah,
I had a good time. I know for us, it wasn't quite a painstaking process, but was it worth it?
Oh, I think so. I mean, just letting you guys do that, and hopefully you'll remember that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
sure,
I know
definitely.
I always did.
I'm going to be one of those guys in their 60s who's like, I don't remember much of high school, but that band Disney trip,
Yeah,
I remember that one.
pretty much.
But, yeah. Also, you guys work together a lot. I don't think we asked you about it yet, but these are kind of related. The last few weeks of the musical, when you get down to crunch time, you want to talk about the stress or what goes into the last couple of weeks. What is it?
Well, I got to shout out Mrs. Logan for getting me through those last couple weeks. She basically runs the house, and I just do whatever I need to do. I have a checklist of things that every month it says what I need to do this month, what I need to do that month, and March is surprisingly empty, but there's getting all the pit musicians, making sure they know what they're doing, getting the set pieces finished, the projector, which we had quite the adventure with this year, but it looks like the school is hoping to have one for us next year, buy one instead of us renting.
good.
So yeah, it's a nice step. Got a cool grant. I guess the school's writing for it. But
Love it.
it is a stressful couple weeks.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
just got to keep one foot in front of the other and keep you all wrangled in and keep you getting better every day.
Yeah, like you said, we get the pit in. Mr. Cebulla, for those who don't know, plays the bass.
Rocking the
guitar
bass.
in the pit. So what's that like? I know we always see you coming into school with your bass on your back.
Well, I love the pressure of being forced to practice.
Yeah.
When you have something to work towards, it's like it gets you going.
Yeah.
So I love it, and I the bass is so fun, and just playing in the pit, being a part of this, and, with Mr. Logan directing, and you get to listen to all the little tidbits that he's giving you guys on the stage, seeing if you're paying attention, and how it all turns out. So I get a front row seat. Unfortunately, he always sticks me right in the middle, in the front. Like my big fat head is in the way of half the audience.
Your wife is actually slipping me $20 so she can get the picture of the three of you all up there on the stage in
That's
one
right.
shot.
I mean,
That is
so
true.
it has been nice having my son Mason in there too,
Yeah, it's
playing.
been really cool.
We ask about that.
And then, of course, Hallie's up there. But again, I know pretty much everybody that's in the cast because they're most all in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting seeing you guys up there. So, yeah.
That's one of the benefits of our smaller school in fine arts is that the two companies are so directly related with each other.
Yeah.
Like you said, pretty much all of the musical kids are in the band, like of the cast member, the main cast, all in the band, at least, or choir. You have
Choir
a
too, yeah.
choir.
Yeah, between band and choir, pretty much just about everyone. I think
Yeah.
there was maybe eight total out of 40 something.
Mm-hmm.
So
So that's a cool part. You get to work with them more than just like musical. You see them throughout the day. I think that's one of the benefits of like our smaller school.
And not just like the music stuff, but there's a bunch of kids in band and choir that are in sports and other
Yeah.
like leadership clubs too, which is nice.
It's a pretty tightly wound society or community. Not a society, it's a community.
No,
Family.
in big schools, some kids you do band and that's all you can do, and
Yeah.
you can be in track, but that's all you do. We're lucky at a small school that we can do everything if you want.
I agree. Well, I think we're ticking down to our last couple minutes here, so we'll probably wrap it up. But thank you guys so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks
Thanks
for having us.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah. This was
It was a good one.
This was a good one. A lot of important info. But thank you for all of your efforts over the last couple months. You've made it very enjoyable for us. I don't think I could have asked for a better senior year.
Yeah.
The memorable Disney
Honestly.
trip. It was a great musical.
Well,
Sold out 4
you
shows.
guys made it great.
Oh yeah.
Well, hey,
Yep, for years and years and
you
years.
can lead a horse to water. Wait. I
Yeah,
guess that kinda
you're on
plays
the right.
in.
Yeah, you're on the right track there. Yeah, because I mean, we can tell you all kinds of crazy stuff, but unless you actually
Gotta
do
follow
it,
through.
right? Yeah,
I was
yeah.
going for the other way though. We need someone to lead us to the water. So
We can throw you in the water there. Hopefully you'll drink or swim or
'Cause
You
your
sing,
float
who
is-
knows?
you guys provide the opportunities for
Yeah,
us,
There you go.
and we execute them.
Hey, when we got kids like you, it's easy.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed, all the listeners, this episode of Beyond the Bureau. We'll be back next time. Unforeseen. But again, hope you enjoyed, Mr. C and Mr. Logan. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Have a good one.